Good day, Internet. Right now I'm working on getting some aftermarket speakers in the RX7. I know that's kind of out of order, out of priority because it doesn't have a floor, but let me have my fun, okay? I gotta give myself a couple little fun things to do along the way. And it's going to be a little bit extra fun because we're going to wire these up so that we can listen to music through them while we're working on the car, because it's not going to be done anytime particularly soon. So here's one of the speakers out of the car. It has this connector set up on it, and this is one of the speakers that's going in it. They were like 35 bucks for a pair of two off Amazon. Pile brand, 300 watt. These say 25 watt on them, so I don't know, maybe these are going to be super loud as heck. I do not know that much about audio, but I know how to wire stuff up. So what we've done with this one is we've taken the stock connector and we have retrofit it onto here. And we just put a screw in there, and I made sure to use a nut with a nylon insert in it so that it's not going to vibrate out over time. And so these are extremely close in size. This is a 6.5 inch, and it's got like all these weird bolt holes. It has one pattern that's a nice square, and there's other ones that make it look like there's a 3-bolt pattern, but it's not quite. But it doesn't matter because none of them line up exactly with this 3-bolt weird thing. So I have no problem at all drilling some extra holes in the car, and these are extremely similar in size. Like, here, let me see if I can show a comparison. Extremely close. Extremely close, but the new guy, the holes are out further. So I've already drilled some new holes and put some screws through there, but I noticed that it's kind of resting on this ridge. So whenever I tighten the screws down, they were kind of stressing the metal out, and also I'm worried that they're going to back out over time because they're not exactly snug. So that was kind of sketchy, didn't like it. I have a 3D printer, so I modeled this up really quickly. I didn't even model the holes because these holes are in such weird random places, and the ones that I chose are not a particular like square or 3-bolt pattern, or you'll see. So I'm printing basically just a ring that goes around here that's like 4 mil thick to make this more flusher. And yeah, so I'm gonna solder this onto the second speaker and I will document it. So let's go. I love the funny things that you find out while like digging into an old car that's got lots of history. Look at this. So I just figured maybe it got wet and kind of curled up over time, but under closer inspection, this has actually been glued. So somebody probably stabbed a screwdriver through it by accident, and it's like sitting weird. Like the rest of it looks fine, but this is all sunk down. And then you look on the other side. Oh my god, what do I expect? They taped over it. I didn't even know that, so I'm really glad that I'm replacing the speakers now. That is hilarious. Alright, so I just drilled it out. Retrofitted. Basically, that's what we're working with. So there it is. Basically, I chose screw locations where we didn't have a weird gap against the metal like that. So we got one in there, one in there, and another one down there. And I'd say that is plenty good. It is much more sturdy than it was before. Mint. And I'm a little bit worried about it coming out further than the original speaker, because there's a grill that goes up against it, but I am sure we'll be able to figure something out. Plus the original one had quite a bit of a lip on it, so it might just be a non-issue. So let's do the other one and plug them in. Alright, I ran out of steam last night. We're lucking out with these Saturdays. The top measurement is inside the Speed 3 shelter, which is a big black tent, and it's really sunny, so it's going to be extra warm, but apparently it's 11 degrees in there. I was just outside. It doesn't feel like 11 degrees, but it's definitely warm. Definitely warm enough to do some work on this thing. This is where we left off last night. Didn't really record myself putting them in, but it wasn't very exciting anyway. So there it is. Yeah, this whole area is not very pretty. I should probably give it a clean at some point, but it's going to get pretty messy with me working in here and using the brass wheel and flicking dirt and rust and stuff everywhere, so we'll clean it at the very end. But we got sound while we're working. So this thing right here, I completely forget where I got this, probably AliExpress or something. It is a speaker driver for running bookshelf speakers, and it is super small. So this is just a tiny little amplifier, and it works fine for something like this. So the previous owner had added all of this wire after the factory wire. So I actually didn't do a terrible job wiring it up, so I'm just going to leave it. I kind of have it bundled here with the seatbelt. Maybe the original speaker wires got like eaten by rats or something like that. Or it rusted away and got destroyed and they replaced it with this. Anyway, I'm happy with it. I'm not going to replace it. So we just have that wired into the box, and they sound pretty decent. For it being this cold and being totally non-broken in speakers and only being 2 speakers, they don't sound incredible, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when A, they warm up, and B, they break in.